Good morning, friends. It's Saturday morning. It is 9 a.m. I have a to-do list a mile long. I'm still in my pajamas. So I had groceries delivered. I don't usually purchase meat from Walmart. I just had mostly canned stuff that's cheaper than my little grocery store delivered because the family wants chili this week because the temperatures are cooler. So I had that delivered and put away. So today is my baby girl's 28th birthday. My oldest child. She's amazing. I think she's amazing. So anyway, today's her birthday. We won't see her till tomorrow. She wanted us to take her to brunch for her birthday dinner. At our house, you can choose whatever you want for your birthday dinner. Either I can cook it or you can go out. She chose a place that she wanted to try for brunch. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. But she requested homemade chocolate chip cookies. She said, I'm sure you forgot how. I hope not. But let me tell y'all, I did not have sugar in the house. I found this. I keep in my laundry room. I have a shelf where I keep some of my veggies that I can. And I found this bag of sugar. This was it. I haven't had sugar in the house. I haven't had flour. So yeah. I scrounged up the stuff. I used to, once upon a time, I always had all baking essentials. If somebody said, hey, I want some cookies, I always had chocolate chips, always had the supplies. And now that we no longer eat that way for the most part, I didn't have this stuff. Anyway, I've got it. We're ready to go. So I thought I'd just come on and chit chat with you today. And while I'm making cookies, because I'd like y'all to come visit and hang out with me. Sorry. I have the door open. I thought one of the little chicks was coming in the house. But she was not. Okay. We're going to make cookies. And I thought I would just have you hang out with me today. And we can chat and do all the things. So, inside my bowl. Listen, I just make the standard recipe on the back of the bag. Why break? Why fix something that's not broken? So yeah, we all like this recipe, so that's just what I use. So I don't do anything special. Anyway, so I've just got my couple sticks of butter in here that are melted. Add a couple eggs. So have you noticed? I don't know if you've noticed where you live, but here the days are getting shorter already. So last night we were at work. We were so busy. Excuse me, in the morning. I'm loosey-goosey with the sinuses. Last night at work, I finally got to sit down at 8:30. We were so swamped. I thought, so the high school, our town's big on basketball and football. I don't care, but the town does. Anyway, the football game was out of town. It was away. So I thought we wouldn't be as busy. Oh, was I wrong? We were swamped. Plus, I was short-staffed. It was a long night indeed. But, as always, we got through it. All right, so we've got that in there. We got the 2 eggs, the 2 sticks of butter, 3/4 cups of sugar. Put all my wet ingredients together. Brown sugar, I didn't have any of that, so I had to buy some. So we got to pack the brown sugar. So anyway, the days are getting shorter. Getting cooler out. I'm kind of sad because I miss the pond. That was my place to go and have some peace and quiet and float. So now I'm going to have to find a equally relaxing winter activity. I don't know what that would be yet. I can crochet, but I can't really make anything like my neighbor taught me to crochet, but I can do like chains. I can't do anything fancy. I can make a scarf if I just keep going in the same direction and reversing. So, and I can sew, but not good enough to, make anything fancy. Made stuff in home ec because I had to. I can sew a button. I made pillows when Brock and I first got married. Before we got married, I made 4 pillows. I sewed them by hand. That took me forever. It probably would have been cheaper for me just to go buy pillows. But anyway. Alright, so we got 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. So yeah, I'm gonna have to find a baking. You know, was once upon a hobby of mine, and I still enjoy baking. I love to bake fresh bread, and I like to make cookies. And I guess I could do that. I could just take it and feed it to somebody else. I know most of the boys on the police department, some on the fire department. I guess if I had a hankering for bacon, I could bake some stuff and drop it off to them. They would appreciate it. All right, teaspoon of vanilla. I'm not going to measure. Good enough. So since it's my daughter's birthday, let me talk about her a little bit. So she was premature. She came a month early. I had to be life flighted with her to Columbus. I had her at OSU Medical Center, not the stadium. And she was fantastic. I was not in such great shape after her. I had toxemia, and she weighed 5 pounds. She was in the regular nursery, and I was still in ICU, so I didn't get to see her. It was quite a while before I even got to see her or hold her after she was born. She was just such a beautiful baby, so tiny, 5 pounds. Listen, first time mom, I was so scared when I brought her from the hospital because, one, I didn't know what I was doing, and two, she was so tiny, and I was so sick. And Brock was with me for a while, but he had to go back to work, so it was just the two of us. And listen, my biggest fear was something would happen to me, and my poor baby would be here alone. And it was a horrible time, but she was such a blessing, but yet I was so fearful. Now with Mason, I wasn't as ill with him as I was with her. And there's 6 years between them because I was so sick, and we made the decision that we wouldn't have any more children because we just didn't know what would happen. And I didn't want something to happen to me and leave my baby girl, without a mommy. But God had other plans, and we had Mason, and it went well. But there's 6 years between them, and that's why, because we had made a decision. But my decision and God's decisions are not quite the same. So we have our baby boy. He's 22, and so he was a blessing. So yeah, that's the story of Madison's birth. Okay, so now we're going to add the dry. So in here I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, teaspoon of baking soda, and I always do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt because I use salted butter. So we're just going to add a little bit of that in at a time. So that Maddie is very smart, always been very smart. When she was little, I taught her to read before she went to kindergarten. And I bought that Hooked on Phonics. Do you remember Hooked on Phonics? And I taught her to read because her birthday fell late. She didn't start school till she was 6. So that whole time from 5 to 6, I taught her at home. I was a stay-at-home mom then. Had that blessing. I mean, things were tight. But thanks to Brock, I was able to stay home, and it was a blessing and something that I'm very thankful for that I got to do. So we learned, then when she started kindergarten, her teacher did not like it because she was taught phonics and how to sound out a word, and they wanted her to do a whole, I don't know, the stuff that they teach. Anyway, I was like, she can read. So however she decides to do it, she's going to do it. So yeah, anyway, I taught her to read and write, and we did school at home, and I took her to the library a lot. She loved to read. She still loves to read. She went to school, of course, to college, and her degree, her 4-year is in English, and then her master's degree is in poetry and creative writing. So that's always been a part of her life. She's an amazing writer. She's getting ready to have one of her poems published. I think the thing comes out, what it's in And I think it's like an Appalachian Review. I have to ask her because I may have it wrong. But one of her poems will be published in that. I think it comes out in March. So stay tuned and I will share that with you. So that's exciting. All right. There we go. It's time for the chocolate chips. Here's what we're looking like. So she is, I've always said since she was little, she was an old woman trapped in a little girl's body. Have you ever met someone like that who, like, they have an old soul? Like, we always say Mason's brand new because everything was exciting and new, and he was inquisitive about everything, and Maddie was just like an old lady trapped in a little girl's body. She came home one time from kindergarten, and I'll never forget that. She goes, those kids are getting on my nerves. And I said, well, you are a kid, Maddie. She's, no, I'm nothing like them. And then I laughed because there's the old lady coming out in her. She loves antiques. She loves older things. She doesn't like, you know, her home has, her little apartment is decorated so cute. And most are antique finds, thrift store finds. Just so cute. All right. But let me tell you what, we can fight too. Ooh, because we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. But I love her. We don't, you know, it's not serious fighting. I like to call it debating. We like to debate. I raised her to be very strong, very independent, rely on herself. That's how my dad raised me. That's how I raised her. And she's fantastic. You know, right now she's doesn't want to date or be with anybody. And she wants to travel, and she's getting ready to go to Salem in a couple of weeks with some friends, and she wants to do her own thing, and that's the way I raised her. I said, listen, girl, you don't need no man. You can do what you want, you know. And when you do find someone, it'll be someone that you want to share your life with, that enhances your life. You don't have to be with someone because you think you have to be married. You think you have to have kids. You don't. I never taught my kids that. Like, do what you want to do. Anyway. So yeah, she likes to go on adventures. She likes to do things. She's amazing. She loves books. She loves to read. She's more getting into cooking more. I just love it. She plans out her menus now, and she buys her groceries and love it. Even though she won't admit it, she did learn a few things from me. All right, so we're gonna put in some walnuts. I don't know, I'm just gonna see what it cups. She wanted walnuts in it. This was always a debate at our house. Mason hates walnuts. Maddie loves them. So a lot of times I would make some without walnuts and then make some for her. But these are her birthday cookies, so she gets what she wants. There we go. I say that's probably enough. Oven's heated. Oven's heated up to 375. All right, let me hunt for my cookie spoon. I have cookie scoops, but I gotta find the cookie spoon. So let me find that and I'll be right back. So this is my cookie spoon. It's just a shell shaped spoon. This is a spoon I've always made cookies with. I don't know why. You know, back in the day, I didn't have a fancy cookie scoop. And this always just made the perfect size cookies. So that's what I used. So back when I was a stay-at-home mom and I was blessed to be able to do that. You know, it's hard to be, I've been both. I'm a working mom and a stay-at-home mom, and they're both equally hard. You know, when you're home with your kids, you know, and your husband is working. Brock's always had good jobs, but he was a truck driver. So some jobs he was gone a lot, home on the weekends, and some jobs he was home at night, but of course he would have to sleep. So, you feel like you need to contribute to the household. And then, when you're working, then you're guilty about not being home as much with your kids. So it's rough at times. It's really rough to be one or the other. I've been both. And like I said, both are equally challenging. So when I was a stay-at-home mom, Brock always had good jobs and made good money. But, when you have a mortgage, you have car payments, you have electric, you have all the bills, it gets tough. So Maddie's birthday is in August, of course. So I would always start every year Christmas shopping after her birthday. I would get through her birthday, and then I would start Christmas shopping. And I would buy 1 or 2 gifts a week for her and Mason till it was all done. And I would hide it. Of course, when they were smaller, it was so much easier. They were happy with just anything. But that was the way that I could get my Christmas shopping done. And I would just work on it till Christmas, and it would be done. And it wouldn't be as stressful. Okay, first batch of cookies are going in. Now that I've shared with you my whole family history. All right. Let me pop those in. This is going to be a long video of me ranting. All right, we'll get this first batch in, and I'll be right back. I'll tell you a funny story about cookies. My dad did not like chocolate chip cookies. He liked either sugar cookies or peanut butter cookies. And the thing about my dad is he liked them baked almost hard. So that's how he always made cookies, because that's how Dad wanted them made. So... and biscuits. He always wanted round, flat, hard biscuits. Now, I didn't agree with him on the biscuits. I didn't care about the cookies. I was like, I hated those little flat biscuits. Anyway, when Brock and I got together, his mom, Goldie, his mom is like a master baker. I mean, that lady can do no wrong when it comes to baking. Everything she bakes is amazing, is delicious. And the first time I had her cookies, they were not like the way I made for Dad. And I was like, wow, these are amazing. So I would make cookies for Brock. He's like, you're over baking them. And I'm like, no, I'm not. This is how you're supposed to do it. So I realized for Brock, when I made cookies, I would have to partially, to me, leave them raw. And at the time, I didn't know they would continue to bake when she took them out of the oven and all of that good stuff. So I was like, these are not cooked because of how I did Dad's cookies. So I figured it out along the way and finally nailed it all. But I just think it was funny. And it's funny how, I grew up in a household and how things are done different. So then you join your own household and then kind of figured it out all together. So our first batch of cookies is out. I had to find this because I had to hunt for that too, because I haven't had that out for a while. My cooling rack. So these were for 8 minutes. There we go. I've got the second batch in. I've got quite a bit more to go. I have a huge to-do list. Do you guys make lists? Let me know. Are you a list maker? I am. I've always been a list maker. And now that I'm older, I really have to write things down or I will forget. Between here, the pizza shop, and everything I have to keep track of, I would lose my mind without a list. So today's list was work on the grocery order, but I did that. Listen, y'all, I woke up, I went to bed, woke up at 1:30 this morning. I could not go back to sleep. I was up till 5:30. Went back to bed, and I've been up since 7:30. It's going to be a long, long day. Hopefully I get a nap. I don't know. I'm back to not sleeping again. Oh, update from the dentist. So, no cavity, but I have trauma to a tooth. There's like a little hunk out of the side of it. And he washed my hands since I touched my mouth. Had a little bit of infection in there. He gave me some antibiotics. So he said I had two options. One, I could go to a specialist. They could do a root canal, and then I could have a crown put on, or I can pull it. A specialist is like an hour and a half away from me. And I really don't think I want to do all that. I really just think I'm just going to have it pulled. It's off here to the side. It's here. just like, I don't really, the thought of that. I don't really, he said I had time to think about it. But man, going through all of that and then having to take off work and just, I think I'm just going to have it pulled and I'm just going to be toothless on that one side. Haven't made up my mind. I've got some time to think about it. So, good news, there was no cavity. Kind of wish there was, because that would have been a quick fix. But instead, I've got this. So, I've got till I'm done with my antibiotics to decide. So, I'll go from there. It is what it is, right? Nothing I can do about it. So, all the cookies are done. Here they are. I guess I haven't forgotten how to make them. The kids always got excited when they would come home from school and they saw this big old Tupperware container. They knew what was inside of there. So I've got Madison one big giant birthday cookie cooling. I'm going to put it on the rack. So check this off of my to-do list today. On to the next. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. I don't always have a recipe to make. So if you like this and you like hanging out with me in the kitchen and doing other stuff, just let me know. And I'll share more with you. All right, so I'm going to go for now, finish up everything before I have to go to work this evening. As always, thanks for stopping by my little country kitchen, and I hope you have a fantastic day.